Hi, everyone. It's Denise Brown. I have a company called the Caregiving Years Training Academy, and I also host a community called Caring Our Way. And thanks for being here. We're going to do an overview of a pilot program that supports individuals who are caring for a family member with dementia. So I'm going to go through the program for anyone who's interested, and we'd love for you to think about enrolling. Because this is an overview, I also welcome any questions you might have about the program. So you're welcome to add questions in our chat room as I go through. And then the presentation is not long. I'll also be available for questions, and I'll stay online as long as needed to answer any questions that you had. So here we go. Again, thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate it so much. All right. So here are our consultants who are participating in the pilot program. I train certified caregiving consultants. Their work is with the family caregiver. And in this particular pilot program, these certified caregiving consultants are available to offer 5 3 sessions to help family caregivers resolve 3 care challenges. Each of our consultants has a personal caregiving experience. They take that personal caregiving experience and complement it with the training that I've developed. And the training program is 100 hours. So the certified caregiving consultants complete 100 hours of training in order to become certified. We are partnering with a startup called Plans for Care. The startup has a database of interventions that can help with strategies to create care plans for care challenges. I connected with one of the founders of Plans for Care about a year and a half ago. His name is Eric, and he's a professor at Brown University. And he and a couple other colleagues who are also professors launched this startup. So the database includes strategies that are evidence-based. So they've all been tested, they've all been shown to use. What's interesting is the organization has what they call an everyday function level scale. Each consultant will offer this scale during the first session with a client. So the family caregiver meets with the consultant in the first session, and what they complete during that first session is what's called an everyday function scale. And it gives an indication of a caree's functional level. What are their abilities at this moment? And the family caregiver answers questions about their caree's ability in order to determine what the functional level is. Because we have an idea of what's possible for a caree, we then can create care plans based on their functional level to help resolve a family caregiver's care challenges. That's a little unique. So we do a scale to determine functional level. That scale then determines what the care plans look like, because the care plans take into account the caree's functional level. The pilot then includes 5 free sessions with the goal of resolving 3 care challenges. We're testing to see the effectiveness of the database and the scale provided by Plans for Care. And we're also measuring the effectiveness of having coaching as part of the experience. What the participants tell us about the program will become insights we share with other programs to help them get better about meeting family caregivers' needs, and we'll also share at conferences as well. What we learn, we want to share. In addition, we want each pilot program participant to receive their assessments, the scale, and any other information that is available to them through the pilot. Okay, so let's think through what the process looks like, because this will give you an idea of how much time is involved. And we want to be flexible to make it feel as doable as possible for you. So before you actually meet with a consultant, you complete an assessment. It's about 20 minutes. If you don't have 20 minutes, you can complete it in 2 parts. You review an agreement, and the agreement just says you can stop participating at any time. We're not medical professionals. We're not giving you diagnostic information. This is your information. You use it in the way that works for you. You know best. And then before you connect with a consultant, we ask you to reflect on your top 3 care challenges. So you receive a copy of your assessment, and I like this because we ask you questions that you might not typically be asked. And the assessment becomes something like a timestamp. This is what it was like for me in my life on February 6th. And then you choose the consultant you want to work with. I think that's important too. So after you sign the agreement, you're prompted to choose a consultant, and there's a page that has the bios for the consultants. So you can read through and really think through, I think I'd like to work with him or her. And then during the very first session, you you work with your consultant to complete the function scale to determine your caree's capabilities. And then you discuss your 3 challenges. And then you pick which challenge you want to work on first. Before the close of each session, the consultant is going to ask you to schedule the next session. So it's important that we have continuity, and it's always easiest if you schedule the next session before you leave the session. Between the first and second session, the consultant is working on the care plan for the first care challenge. And then in the second session, the consultant presents your care plan. And then there's a discussion because we know it probably will need some tweaking based on what will work for you. And it's very important that you feel like this is a care plan that's going to work for you. So there's a conversation, there's discussion, you can give feedback, and then you have a care plan. And then the second session closes with, again, scheduling the third session. And then at the third session, there's a check-in. How is the care plan working? What needs to be adjusted? And then there's a conversation about the second care challenge. And then if it's the same challenge that the client disclosed to the consultant at the very first session, the consultant can say, I've got a care plan for us to talk about. If not, the consultant will work on the next care plan between sessions. You can see you just continue with sharing a challenge, receiving a care plan, giving feedback on the care plan, trying the care plan, giving feedback on the care plan, creating another care plan for a challenge. So the goal is that you have 3 care plans that work for you at the end of the 5 sessions. And then during the last session, you'll just have a check-in about the care plans. The consultant will prompt you to complete a post-program assessment. And again, you get a copy of this. You see all your answers. And then if you'd like to continue working with the consultant will share fees, scheduling, any kind of special offer that they might have for you. Okay, so there's no cost to enroll. It's 5 free consulting sessions to resolve 3 care challenges, and you choose the certified caregiving consultant that you'd like to work with. If you're interested, we have a private group in our community, Caring Our Way. You would join the private group, and it gives you all the instructions of what to do next: the assessment, the agreement, choose your consultant. Nancy, how did I do? What would you add?
Whoops. I can't click very successfully.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I think you did great. I think you did great. I
Okay.
think the whole idea is everybody needs to think this is their own individualized plan. And that's the whole point of it. And anybody who's dealing with someone with dementia knows the story. If you've met one person with dementia, you've met one person with dementia. So it's very different the experience is very different for everyone. So this is what's so perfect about this program, I believe.
Nancy is one of our certified caregiving consultants. She became certified in June.
Somewhere.
Yes, I think you enrolled in May and then you became
Mhm.
certified in June.
Mhm.
And Nancy cared for her husband who had dementia, her father-in-law who had dementia,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
has been involved in giving us insights as we've been working through the pilot program. We also have one of our certified caregiving consultants in training joining us tonight too. So Anne's with us, and Anne enrolled in the training program this fall. So she'll finish up in the winter. Thanks for being here, Anne. Okay, so you know what? I wanted to show you guys what it looks like in our private group. So when you join our private group, it walks you through all the next steps. And then you can keep in touch with us in our updates section. So for instance, someone posted today, I just want to make sure I'm good to go with my consultant tonight. So I said, yes, you are. So the consultants are part of this private group as well. So there's ways for you to receive support between sessions. What questions might you guys have?
I'm kind of new to this, and so this is a pilot program that we can enroll. For example, for me, I'd like to do it with my mother to help make a care plan for my father. Would that be a reasonable?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so we enrolled a husband and wife today, and they're going to do it separately. But if you would like to do it with your mom, that would be really interesting and that would be awesome.
So as a family caregiver to them, I guess it would be
Yes.
really
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah. And if it would feel valuable for you and your mom to go through the process together, I think that would be great.
Great, because it'd be amazing, I think, for me, but I think she'd get a lot of value out of it as well, because she has a lot of
Yes.
questions that are coming up.
Yes. And sometimes, sometimes I think it's just nice to have someone go through it with you. To go through, to say, okay, here's the technology we're going to use. I'll make sure you get on and everything's okay. And I'll explain everything. You don't have to do this by yourself. It's just nice to have someone in good company with you.
Yeah, we've done other courses together and it's been really fun and valuable. This
Mm.
sounds perfect.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, Anne, you made my whole day. Oh, okay.
So then, therefore, I guess next question would be, do I sign up into this group or how do I
Yes,
enroll?
yes, yes. Sign up. So join the group. I'll put the link to the group in the chat room. And I'm going to ask you guys to think this one out for me. So I'm wondering, do you complete an assessment as well as your mom? Because we would want to know for both of you what's been the impact of this program. I think that's what I would suggest, is that you go through the assessment and your mom does as well. And then you'll both receive answers, your own answers. You're welcome to share them if you'd like. I think that would be good. Nancy, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking was that her mom might be more bought into the solution if they're doing it together. So maybe the assessment is separate, but quickly they get together and come up with where they think the challenges are. Because obviously her mom, her mom's the primary caregiver, but I'm sure Anne is deeply involved because especially elderly people, being a caregiver for someone with dementia it's already overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. Like my mother-in-law was 90 and it was
Yeah,
really overwhelming for her.
my folks are 92, and so yes, I agree with that. And so would I also include my siblings?
The more people who have an opinion, who feel bought into the end care plan, the better. So maybe they're not on all the calls, but at least y'all all sit together and decide what the care plan what your biggest three challenges are and how to tackle those. And anytime you want to talk to somebody about it, I'm happy to talk through it because I've been through this more than I want to have to fess up to, but it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, thank you,
When you
Nancy.
have someone who's 90 or, going through it, that's its own thing.
So, Anne, you're asking such great questions. So if your mom could complete the assessment, you complete the assessment, you both come to the first session having agreed on what you think the top three challenges are. And then I wonder if siblings want to join the second session for the discussion of the care plan.
The more people bought into the care plan, the easier, that's not dementia specific, that's everywhere, right? The more people
Or
bought
would
it.
it be valuable also to have their input on what are the top three challenges?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You just probably don't want too many people in that first meeting and just to sort of, but I think the input from everybody's great. And then some consensus later is good.
Okay.
And yes, and because it would be just you and your mom in the first session where you do
Mhm.
that everyday function scale, that's really helpful to share with other family members because that's education.
Right.
This is what's possible for dad right now. And because your mom and you probably have the best perspective about his abilities, I don't think others need to be involved because you don't want to get into, oh, I saw dad do that once. I think he could do that all the time. And you think, okay, you saw him once because he did that once. So
Right.
yeah.
And I don't know if that's necessarily true that I have the best perspective compared to my siblings, but I agree that I'm kind of taking the, you know, reins on this one.
Yes. And here's the other thing too, is we can be as flexible about this as works for you.
Okay.
So we could try it the way we just mapped it out. You and your mom do the assessment. You talk about the care challenges with input from siblings. You and your mom are part of the first session.
Mhm.
And then thinking about having siblings come into the second session, because that's when the first care plan is discussed.
Okay. This sounds great. I'm really
Yeah.
excited.
And what's interesting, which is what Nancy's been talking about, the discussion of the care plan also becomes the discussion that can lead to delegation. Who else is going to do more? Who else is going to do this? And that can be really helpful for this objective person, the consultant, to actually facilitate that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Exciting.
Yes. Oh,
All right. So I'm looking at the chat here. Okay. Join this. Good. Good.
I know Ethel had asked a question about the consultant training. So after our consultants complete their training, they work with family caregivers. What other questions might you guys have? Phyllis, I think you are muted. I'm not sure, Phyllis, if you had a question or not. You also are welcome to post it in the chat room if that feels easier. I can also ask you, I can send you a little note that asks you to unmute. That might be.
Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
there we go. Yes. Hi, Phyllis. Thanks for being
Hi.
here.
This sounds really interesting, and I think I'd like to try it too. But I really feel like I don't even know what my top three.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm so overwhelmed.
Yes. That's a care challenge right there. Overwhelm is a care challenge.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
started going to this care group. They meet on every third Monday of the month locally here. But it's once a month, but um it's a support group. And so I'm reaching out to other things that could help me learn or be a better caregiver. My mom is 96.
Bless you.
Yeah. And yeah, just there's some emotional baggage that she plays on me. I think that's one of the things, how to deal with that. Um, but yeah, I really don't even know what I
No.
would name as my top three. I feel so confused.
Okay. And that's okay and understandable. And that's a care challenge.
Right. And when you go through the care assessment,
Mhm.
those things are going to bubble to the top, Phyllis, anyway. That's
Okay.
part of so the assessment, you really don't need to know anything coming in the door. Go through the assessment and see what bubbles to the top. And your consultant will help you figure out if you can say, these are what I think the top three challenges are. And then they say, based on what I saw in the assessment, have you thought about this as well? So, I don't feel like you have to do it all. You really don't.
Okay. And then, the course, is that like you do it online and then you could be in your local area, and how does that
For,
work?
for the certified caregiving consultant
Mhm.
course, yeah, it's online. You join me, you go through 9 modules and then you join me for 8 hours of live training. And then most of the consultants actually work virtually with clients who live in other parts of the country. Some are very local in their work, but a lot are virtual, working with others all over.
Okay, maybe someday down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
kidding.
absolutely.
I did it,
Absolutely.
Phyllis, I wasn't finished caregiving when I did it. My husband was in later stage dementia.
Mhm.
So he was a little more compliant. It was a little easier. And I did it because I started a podcast for dementia family caregivers on how to handle day-to-day challenges like bathing and dressing and all those things. And I thought I need a broader perspective on what caregivers go through every day. And I tell you all the time, I lean back on what I learned in that training. I brag about it when I talk to reporters. I mean, I tell people all the time, I learned so much that makes you feel like you're not alone, because this is, you start to understand what's so common among caregivers. And the overwhelm is a good example. And it just makes you start to realize so much of what you think is so overwhelming and so unique is really just normal. It's just normal. And it makes you feel better when you know everything's normal and you're just, you're going through a tough time.
Yeah, you asked the question, what is normal?
Right. Nothing is the answer.
Yeah. And sometimes I would think, where did normal go?
Yeah.
How did
What is
how did I
normal?
lose normal? How did I lose normal? And who hid her on me? I want to find normal again. Nancy, you should post a link to the podcast.
I will. I will. That's a great idea. I'll do that right now.
And Ethel has a question about our certified caregiving consultant. Basically, they're coaches for family caregivers.
Mhm.
So we do individual sessions with a family caregiver where they talk out what's happening and we work to resolve challenges, offer strategies. We do planning sessions. We do family emergency planning, respite in place planning, daily recovery planning, after the diagnosis planning. So after a family member's diagnosis, we help them create strategies of what to do next. So it's all about the family caregiver. We take care of the family caregiver through our certified caregiving consultants. And we had another question in the chat room, and Dion, I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. Please let me know if I am not. I
Yes,
just,
you are.
oh, good. I just accepted you into the group.
Okay,
And
great.
I will just share my screen one more time and I'll show you. So when you are accepted into the group, this is the page that you see. There's some information about the program. And then you just scroll down to next steps.
Okay, great. Okay,
And then the first thing you're going to do is complete the assessment.
okay.
Once you complete that, you are directed to the agreement. You can read the agreement. There's actually a link to it before you sign it.
All right.
And then once you complete the agreement, then you choose your consultant and schedule your first session.
Okay, great. Do that. So you said you accepted my request.
I did. And
Okay.
I am in the group as well as the
Oh,
other consultants. So you can always reach out to us if you are stuck going through these steps.
okay.
We are here to help you.
Okay. I think I see it. I'm in now. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Oh, you're
you.
welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Of
Yeah.
course. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ah,
Each of
okay.
the sessions is about 40 minutes, just to give my mother a little heads up on what to plan.
First session is 40. And then you really kind of determine how long you want subsequent sessions to be. If you are tight on time, it can be 30 minutes. If you have a little bit more time, you could do 45 minutes. We think this is going to be 5 sessions. If time is tight for you, hi Tasha, I'm going to get to you in just a minute, so hang on. If time is tight for you and you feel like I can meet for 15 minutes, then we would have more sessions that are shorter in duration.
Okay.
The goal is that we resolve 3 care challenges. However, we know that sometimes time is tight. And so we don't want you to feel like, "Oh, I can't do this because I don't know how much time I can commit to this." We'll be flexible around that. Okay, Tasha, go for it.
Good evening, everyone. My question is, and I'm sorry I came in late. I had another appointment prior to this. But my question is, in the midst of this, will this also allow to help with, like, say, for example, if that particular caregiver needs resources?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
any like additional resources or support in the midst of
Yep.
that? That's the first question. The second question is there a component that can also be for grief? And that is where I am within the journey, because sometimes I find that it's difficult even after your particular loved one has, you've gone through all the things that you've gone through with that loved one, um, how to unpack that grief. So that's my 2 questions.
Okay, so your second question, would that be related to grieving during caregiving or grieving after your caree's death?
Both, because you're really doing both. Like,
Right.
I'll
Yep.
just give you a prime example. Like, I mean, I grieved who my mom was throughout our whole entire caregiving journey. And even after, you still have, like, side effects from that. And it took a while for my husband and myself to uh, get back to the new normal. And
Yes.
for us. So those are my 2 questions.
Great question. So resources and support, absolutely. One of our participants cares for a caree in a facility, and the consultant has been working on resources to help that family caregiver advocate for her caree in a facility. So that includes reaching out to long-term care ombudsman, other resources within the community, and then support. That's part of the care plan. And then grieving, yes, because grieving is a care challenge. It's a care challenge. This particular pilot program is for someone who is caring for a caree who is this, it doesn't matter what stage they are in the disease process. Doesn't matter that. I was just thinking, if you were looking for resources right now around after a caree's death, then I would point you to a different resource section on Caring Our Way.
Because the goal here is to come up with a care plan, so that you need to be actively caregiving to leverage the program. Yeah.
Right, and we have archives of an annual event we do called Beginning Again Retreat, which happens every October, and that's for adjusting to life after caregiving ends. And you can watch all those archives. We just did our 5th annual in October. So we have, I'm not going to do the math, but let's say 30 hours. I don't know if it's 30 hours, but we have a lot of archived videos you can watch. And then we have a grief support group that meets on the 2nd or 3rd Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have other resources that are part of after caregiving on the website Caring Our Way.
And don't you have a book on this, Denise?
Yeah. And then we also have a 6th, thank you, I forgot it. We also have a course called Beginning Again After Caregiving Ends. That's based on a book I wrote. I forgot about that. Yes.
Excuse me.
You can take the course, which is free, and the book is part of the course too. Thank you,
Okay.
Nancy.
I was just, so I guess the purpose of this particular call, and thank you for answering those questions.
Sure.
I guess the purpose of the particular call is of this particular call is to pilot this, or I guess I'm just trying to figure out how I could, be of assistance, or I don't know. My husband and I have been trying to also work out how we can be of the support to like other couples, and different things as far as based upon, our experience and even the experience that we've had on this journey, because we've become advocates basically for uh, this condition. So, can you just explain more, or did I miss?
You missed it,
My
but that's
question makes
okay. Yeah, you missed it because I went through it at the beginning. So I'll just say you can watch the very beginning because I'll send the recording out because it doesn't take long. And Tasha is one of the volunteers for our 36-hour Christmas chat. She's volunteered 3 years in a row to help out. And so she shows up to support. So Tasha, I know that you have a huge heart for helping. So I'll just give you the quick gist. It's 5 coaching sessions to resolve 3 care challenges with a certified caregiving consultant.
And I don't know if has Tasha thought about taking the course, because that might actually also be a good thing to do.
Yeah. And Tasha, you can always, I think we've talked about what your next steps are, and I think we have to schedule a call. I got a little sidelined launching this pilot, but we can have a call and figure out what your next steps are.
Yes, I would love that.
Because you feel like you have learned so much that you don't want to just let it go.
Right.
Especially,
You've invested so much time and effort in
yes,
so much, and now all of a sudden,
yes,
like, so now I'm just pretending that didn't happen.
right, yes. And I'm just gonna like let all this wisdom go and all this knowledge. You want, and especially because it will help someone else. And why would you let it go when you know it's going to help someone else?
Mhm.
Okay, does everybody feel like their questions are answered?
Nancy, this podcast looks completely amazing. I'm looking forward to checking it out, and your timing is spot on, and congratulations for getting it going.
Well, look at episode 27. That's Denise. That's the episode we did with Denise. But the rest of it, we just felt like there's a big gap in practical day-to-day advice for dementia family caregivers. There's lots of high-level stuff, but nobody tells you how to change a depend, or what's going to happen when incontinence starts, or what do you do to, how do you take away the keys, or, you know, and it's, so that's all we focus on is subjects, and then advice and practical tips on how to handle that particular dementia day-to-day challenge. So it's very focused.
Perfect.
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, I think we got everybody.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this program. Denise, you've done a great job getting it to execution, because we had an initial meeting on this, seems like back in August, and now it's turned into something that we can help dementia family caregivers. Two of my clients are coming to this and becoming, you know, part of it, because why wouldn't you get free advice and leverage a tool and try to figure out if you can do a better job with your care plan with help from both technology and a certified caregiving consultant? It seems like a no-brainer at no charge.
Yeah.
How could you not do that? It's awesome.
Yeah, it does. It really did take a long time for this to come into fruition. So I had initially connected with Eric a year and a half ago, and
Mhm.
it just kept talking about it. Part of it was their technology needed to be ready. One thing that I think has been really helpful about this is we have given them feedback about how to improve the
Yeah.
experience within, I guess, the platform, as well as the scale, that experience. And they have taken our feedback and made changes, which
That's
is
great.
awesome. And so I guess I say that because if you're participating, your feedback is going to improve the program.
Right. That's actually a good point.
Yeah. So it's not like we're just asking you to do something. We want to know. We want to know. Okay. I think we're going to close. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, you guys, for joining. And thanks for signing up tonight. Thanks for signing up. So reach out to me through the group if you have any questions. Tasha, let's get you scheduled to talk about next steps. Nancy, it was great to see you. Thanks to all of you for all you do.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Denise.
Thanks, everybody. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.